It's a new year and you're either excited about your new goals or you're overwhelmed or you're confused. You don't even know where to start. And you know you want to do it better than it was last year, but somehow you don't know how to go about it. Or you're discouraged from setting even bigger goals. In fact, some of you even know your problem. You know you're indisciplined, you know you're inconsistent, you know you lack focus, you know your problem, and probably you've tried to fix it, but it's not working. So by the end of this video, you're going to have so much clarity on how you're going to navigate this new year so that you do not operate the way you operated last year that gave you the results that you do not like. So without further ado, let us get right into this video. So now, productivity, it is the act of producing desired outcomes with optimal use of time, energy, and resources. When you say, I was productive today, it could be that, oh, I set out to go to the bank to probably fix my ATM card. And I was able to achieve that. Even if I spent the entire day in that bank, I was able to get my ATM card. That means I had a productive day. It doesn't matter if someone else went to the gym, built out 10 features in 5 hours. It doesn't matter, because to you, this is what you set out to achieve and you achieve that. Moving on, if that is what productivity means, that means that you have to have something you want to do. You have to have a goal you want to achieve. So that leads us to the next thing, which is, what is a goal? A goal is a specific outcome that you aim to achieve. You wake up in the morning and you're feeling laggy and you're like, today, I'm going to have to maybe go for a run. Today, I want to read Think and Grow Rich. Today, I want to go for a dancing class. I want extracurricular activities. So it is a specific outcome you aim to achieve. Notice that word, specific. It is very, very specific. Now, example, I want to build muscle. I want a deeper relationship with God. I want to master web development. A specific outcome that you aim to achieve. On the other hand, what is a system? It is a set of daily routines that you consistently follow to make progress over time. So you can see that a goal defines the destination, right? But a system shows you the path that you need to do what to take through in order to achieve that desired outcome. So it's not good enough to say, I want to build muscle. You have to set a path on how you are going to achieve that. That is what makes you different from what others are doing. Setting a goal is like, I want to build a muscle, but setting a system in place is like saying, I am going to work out every Monday and Wednesday by 7 a.m. So that is where the problem starts. People are overwhelmed because they have an outcome that they want, but somehow they don't have a path on how to get there. And so they go about with a lack of clarity, and at the end of the day, they have no results and they're frustrated. So both of them are very important. Now, the next thing is to understand. I would have said, okay, let me then tell you how to start setting your goals and how to set systems. But before that, I'm going to tell you the reasons why you have been unable to achieve your goals. And you'll see that you belong to at least one category, 2 categories, 3, or maybe even 4 of them. Number 1 is that you lack focus. Number 2, you lack discipline. Number 3, you lack consistency. Number 4, you procrastinate. If you can understand the root cause of why you're not there, it will be easier for you to make progress. Let us now look into the deeper reason why you lack focus. You were not born that way. There is an underlying reason. Now, let's see what focus is. It's the ability to concentrate on a specific task while minimizing distraction to produce quality work. Specific task, to focus on something specific. So when you lack focus, it means that you're not focusing on something specific. You're all over the place. You are doing everything at the same time. You have no priority. Everything is a priority to you at the same time. If you are that type of person, progress is not your friend, because you are here, you are there, you are here, and you are there. You're going to probably get 20% here, 30% here, 10% here, 5% here, and at the end of the day, you see that it's really not the progress that you want. Number 2 is that you're distracted. Let's talk about this. There is notification everywhere, which is very bad. It has become so much part of us that we do not even know when we automatically do this. Like you try to get your phone to probably maybe check your calendar, and suddenly your hand just opens Instagram. It's become an automated part of your life. But you have to really make effort and ground yourself and build a lifestyle that is not automated to respond to distraction very quickly. Now I'm going to show you something very practical. I always work from my PC majority of the time. I am always more on my PC than I am on my phone, and I'm going to show you this. Because I work on my PC, sometimes I want to search something. Maybe I want to search someone on Instagram, and the feed just carries me away. 45 minutes down the line, that is when I retrieve myself. Same goes for YouTube, same goes for Twitter, same goes for LinkedIn. And I realized that it was so toxic, it was bad. In fact, even my browsers were distracting me. And so I set a system for myself in place when I realized it. Now, when you go to my YouTube, for instance, you are going to look at my feed and you will see that there's nothing to see. Literally, there's nothing to see, because I understood that everybody is trying to get my attention. Even the people who design the thumbnails are designing in such a way that they want to stop the scroll and so that you watch their videos. So it is very intentional of you to say, no, I have something to do. I have to make sure that I'm making progress, right? So putting this in place, this is an extension that I use out in blocking things so that when I want to come on the platform, so I'm not distracted. But if I want to turn it on, I'm free. But majority of the time, I do not turn it on. This is one of the ways of saying, you know what, I do not want to lack focus. I have to do something about it. Also, if you're more on your phone, there are apps like minimalistic UI that you can use to block out distraction. The last thing is that you have no plan. This is one of the core reasons. You wake up, you don't even know what to do that morning. Like, you know, you have to go to work, you know, you're a student, I have to go to school, I have to do this, but like, there is no in-depth plan on what you're going to do every single minute, hour, second. If you don't have a plan, you have planned to fail. It is not a quote. It is reality. That is why you lack focus, because you multitask, you have no priorities, you are distracted, and you have no plan. The moment you put all this together and find a solution to it, you will see that you have your focus back on track. Next thing is that you are undisciplined. So let's look at what discipline is. Undiscipline, indiscipline is. It is the failure to follow through on plans that you set for yourself. That is, you say, I want to get fit this year, but at the end of the year, nothing changed. I want to make more money. At the end of the year, nothing changed. And it's because of two things. You lack accountability and planning. You don't have a plan. If I want to be able to do what? To get fit, I have to go to the gym. But I don't just have to go to the gym just like that. I have to go to the gym maybe every Wednesday and Friday, because that's what's convenient for me and that's what's realistic for me. If you do it that way, it will be easier for you to navigate it. It now makes discipline even much more easier, because you are not all over the place. You have plan and you have accountability. Now, number two is that you're undisciplined because you rely on motivation, your feelings over your commitment. I'm sorry, but anybody who wants to build something credible in their life, they can't go far with what? With acting on how they feel, on impulse feelings, because that is not how life works. Sometimes what you will need to do doesn't come so easy, and you will need what? Commitment. You will need what? Motivation. Yes, you need motivation, but you rely on the wrong type of motivation. The motivation that you need is a type that comes from action. For instance, if you say, I'm going to wake up 3 a.m. every morning, I'm going to wake up 5 a.m. every morning, and you wake up 5 a.m. day one, you wake up 5 a.m. day two. Day three, you are so excited and so motivated. That is the type of motivation that comes from action, not the one that comes from feelings. So that is why you are undisciplined. If you feel like there is any more reason, you can probably type it down in the comment section. The next is that you're inconsistent. You fail to follow through, or you fail to stay steady at something that you set out to do. It is when your actions vary day to day, leading to stalled progress. And sometimes your actions vary day to day because you're confused. Again, you don't have a plan. So if you look at all these patterns, it all boils down to one thing. It's sticking on one thing: planning, goals. You have to have a structured plan, right? So number one, you are inconsistent because you are unrealistic and you burn out too quickly. You set goals. I know they say dream big, but you're dreaming too big that you become so unrealistic. I'll give you an instance. A nursing mother who probably put to bed this week, and next week she wants to go on a diet and she wants to start working out. That looks great. It sounds fantastic, but it's a very unrealistic goal, and it's even a harmful goal because her baby needs her and she needs to heal first before she starts strenuous exercises. So cutting down on her diet doesn't do much favor. It sounds like a good goal, but it's not realistic. So when your goals are unrealistic and you burn out and you're tired, you crash too early. I'll give you an instance. I am a product designer. I like to make videos like I'm currently making now. I love to build businesses. I have other things that I enjoy doing. Now, because I have a full-time job at the moment, which sometimes can be a lot, like because you want to make sure you're putting your best into it. Saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to be able to handle this job, and I'm also going to be able to push out like 3 YouTube videos per week. Knowing fully well that I'm the only product designer in my team, I have to do all the work. Now, that is such an unrealistic goal because you know what it takes to create one YouTube video, you will have to make a script. You have to make the title, the thumbnail, the description. You have to come up with it. You have to shoot. You will have to make research. You will have to edit the video. You will have to post it. You will have to follow up and keep on your metrics to understand and how you can improve. It is a lot of work for even one video. How much more 3 videos? That is such an unrealistic goal. And if I try it, it might work out the first time, but I'll quickly burn out, I will crash, and I will give up for the rest of the year. But it is better to say, oh, this is what my engagement looks like currently. I can make it once in 2 weeks. I can make it once in 3 weeks. And with that way, it is sustainable. You are more consistent and you can carry it for a very long time period. Unless maybe as you go, you get a team and you can, be more creative again and produce more videos, but you have to make sure that your goals are realistic so that you can stay consistent. Second is that your goals are too big and they don't have a sustainable routine. Like I said, it is too big for you because you fail to see the priorities, you fail to see what's realistic, and you make it so unsustainable that you crash too quickly and you are inconsistent. So the last one is you procrastinate, which is you delay important tasks in favor of short-term dopamine, right? And number one problem is that your goals are unclear, your tasks are unclear, and they overwhelm you. So I'll give you an instance. For me, again, as a product designer, I work in my team, and sometimes my team is like, you know what, we should build something, we should build out a feature. We should build out a product feature. And I've never done that before. And it was usually this way for me. Whenever I'm told to do something that I've never done before, I get so anxious that I think about it so much that it gives me headache, it gives me anxiety. I try to cope with doing so many other things that is not that particular thing. And the day goes by and I push it to the next day and it just keeps on piling up for me. And I get agitated when I'm asked what's the progress, because I have refused to do what? To make it clear, to bring the task, make it clear so that it doesn't overwhelm me. First, because I do not know what this is all about, the first thing I will need to do is, this is what I started doing to actually get it right. Once I'm told to do something I do not know, I won't fidget. What I will do is that I will say, okay, I don't know what this is, but I probably know that there's inspiration online. I'll go and see what other people have done about it. If it has to do with maybe build a savings feature, I would have to go and see what other people have done, get an idea. So now my mind is no longer blank. I started somewhere, right? I've broken it down. Just get an idea first. I don't have to be perfect with it. Just get an idea. Once I have an idea, what am I going to do? I'm going to try to see what I can also create with my own technical know-how, what I'm going to create. And once I've done that, I can show this is what I've done. This is what I think best. This is why I did so and so. And then my team can now think, okay, this is great. This is great. Let's fix this. Let's fix it. And with that, you come up with something that's good, but from good it goes to great. And that is how I wiped out that particular procrastination thing. So number 2 is that also you lack perfectionism, which is what I just explained. You want to get it best the first time, but life doesn't work like that, because your first might not always be the best. So you have to be open-minded to making mistakes and getting it right. So you procrastinate because of these 2 things. So now that we've understood the underlying reasons why we do not achieve our goals, now move on to doing the next important thing, which is what? Setting our goal using a framework that works. Now, this I recently learned from Bisola Badejo, and I'm so excited. Like, this is so intelligent. This is so smart. And it's called SMART System Framework. It works like magic. How this works is that instead of just setting goals, I want to invest into my looks, I want to learn how to do my makeup as a guy, I want to hit the gym, I want to build muscles, I want to become lean. All of these are beautiful goals. But for it to be effective enough for you to actually see progress, it has to follow this framework. So it has to follow the SMART framework. So first is that your goal has to be specific. Instead of saying, this year I really want to learn a lot. Learn what? Okay, I want to learn product design. I want to learn content writing. I want to learn cybersecurity. I want to learn forex trading. You have to be specific. Instead of saying, I want to get a job, I want to get a product design job in a fintech company that pays me so amount of money. You have to be very specific. 2, it has to be measurable. You don't just have to have a specific goal. It also has to be measurable. Okay, I want to get a product design job. How am I going to do that? First of all, I have to have a good portfolio. First, second, I have to have a good CV. I have to reach out to people. I have to reach out to founders. I have to cold email people. I have to learn how to, pass an interview test. I have to be good at my job. I have to take more courses and become more efficient in my work. This is the measurable data that you need to have. So you don't just have to have a goal. Yes, it's specific, but it also has to be measurable. Then the next one is that it has to be achievable. Do you think that for your current activity that goal is achievable for you? Next, it has to be realistic, right? Is it practical enough? Like the instance I gave with the nursing mom and her goals, that goal is not realistic. It's achievable, she can achieve it, right? But it's not realistic. So your goals need to be realistic so that, remember, you don't burn out on time. The next is that your goal has to be time bound. It has to have a deadline. Very, very important, because there is a way that the human mind reacts to timelines. For instance, when you go to an e-commerce site and then you see a product that you really, really admire, you want to buy, let's say a Jordan shoe, and then you see that, oh, that Jordan shoe costs like $200, but it has been cut off to $95. And they said you have to get it within the next 10 hours with a free shipping, and you just make the purchase instantly. Now they use that time bound framework on you, and you don't even know, because humans are designed that way. So when you set a goal, I want to complete this course. You know what? I want to complete it in 1 month by doing what? By studying it 1 hour every single day. So you can say, okay, every single day by 5 a.m. I wake up, I study from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. You will see that it prompts you to take action. You don't want to, you now want to go to sleep early, because you know that if I do not sleep early, I'm not going to wake up. And if I don't wake up, I'm not going to take that course, and it will be deteriorating to my progress. So when you set a time and a start date and end date to something, you would make more progress. So now, knowing the system you have to follow to set your goals, the next thing is to do what? To start setting the goals. But before we set the goals, I'm going to have to use someone as a persona. So this was one of the persons that reached out to me with their own problem, and I decided, instead of using myself, I can use someone more practical so that we can see how we take a problem like this and make it an organized system for the person to impute in their life and actually start seeing progress. Let's call him Ikechukwu. He says, I'm currently a university student, a social media designer, a product designer, and I'm also looking forward to starting content creation within this year, although this isn't the first time I've been meaning to start it though. Balancing all of this feels overwhelming sometimes, especially when I try to spread different tasks across a single day. It often feels like there is just too much to fit into one schedule. So yeah, so you can see that Ikechukwu has a goal. In fact, he has a current activity that he has in his life. He's a student, an active student. He's a product designer, and he is a social media designer. Now, he has a problem, which is he's feeling overwhelmed, but he has goals that he wants to achieve. He wants to start content creation. He wants to balance all of this, right, properly. So, Ikechukwu has a current life activity, he has a problem, and he wants a solution so that he can be able to achieve his goals. But before I move on to the next thing, I want you to understand that sometimes it's impossible for you to fit in all your daily goals in your life every single day, especially when you have a lot of things to do. Ikechukwu is a student, he's a social media designer, he's a product designer. He's also trying to start content creation. Sounds great, but the reality is that Ikechukwu cannot be able to fit all of these things into his everyday life. I mean, he has to learn how to spread it across the week so that he can be sane and doesn't feel overwhelmed. So now that we know the persona that we're using for this, right, let us move on to how we can help Ikechukwu to do what? To actually set his goals. Let us look in-depthly into what he's facing. So now I did this. It's called a user persona in product design, and I thought it would be the best thing to do what to get to understand Ikechukwu's current life. So you can also do your own life scrutiny. Ikechukwu is a 400 level student of KT University. Now, his current responsibility is that he's a full-time social media designer, he is a product design enthusiast, he's trying to transition, then he is a full-time student. These are the current corporate engagement in his life. Now, his goals for 2026 is that he wants to transition to product design, he wants to earn more, he wants to become more independent. Because I actually asked him follow-up questions and I realized that he is trying to transition to product design to start making more money so that he can become independent. Next thing is that he wants to ace all his projects. Now he wants to create content online for visibility of what he does. He wants to read more books. I asked him for his hobbies and he said he wants to read more books, because remember, hobbies are part of your goals. Sometimes you don't plan for it. And then when you try to put it because you do not plan for it, everything clashes. So he loves to read books. So he wants to read more books. He also wants to get fit by going to the gym when he's done with school. His current frustration is that he's feeling overwhelmed from all this activity, trying to balance all of them together. He's feeling overwhelmed. He doesn't know how to manage all of them. And that leads you back to the thing. When you feel overwhelmed, it is because you lack priorities. Ikechukwu has no priority. Everything feels like it's a priority. There is no core priority in his life, which is what we're going next to. So instead of jumping to creating goals, you have to understand that in every single one of your goals, there has to be the priority. It is how life works. In every season of your life, for instance, a mom again who recently put to bed, her main priority at that point is to make sure that the child is okay, that she is okay, and her family is okay before she starts thinking about, oh, how is her career going? She can be able to manage it, but at that point in time, her baby's well-being is a priority. Same goes to you. You have to understand what is the main priority in your life. So let's discover Ikechukwu's priority. Still applying the SMART system framework. So we looked at Ikechukwu's 12-month goal, and I asked Ikechukwu, if you were to, this is called the Brian Tracy experiment, what Brian Tracy advised that people do in order to see faster results, and I do this in my own personal life. So what it looks like is bring your 12-month goal, right? The goal, your long-term goal, bring that goal, put it into a sheet of paper, right? Put down all the goals you want to achieve in the next 12 months. Now look at all of those goals and look at that single goal. Like, can you please check that one goal that if you're able to achieve it like right now, like in 24 hours, which one will make the greatest impact in your life? Which is that one goal that you know that if you achieve it in the next 24 hours, it will make so much impact in your life more than every other goal. Circle that goal. Now, once you circle that goal, you transfer it into a new sheet of paper, and then you now list the deliverables of what you need to do in order to achieve that goal. So if you want to transition into product design, you have to carry that goal into a new sheet of paper where you now list, what do I need to transition into product design and become a skilled product designer? So I asked Ikechukwu questions, follow-up questions, and I realized that among all of his 12-month goals, the most important one that he felt like would change his life drastically was transitioning to product design, earning more money, and becoming independent. That is the priority. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to ace his projects. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to create content. Doesn't mean he's not serious about reading books or getting fit. But this is the priority. So in every season of your life, there is going to be priority. Now, moving on. Now we've discovered his major priority. We want to now learn how to take these goals and break it down using the SMART system frameworks. And that will take us through 2 steps. So the first step is create a goal category. When you have a goal, you need to understand that as a human being, your life is a project on its own. It's like a school project. If you're a student, when you get into uni, for instance, when you get into school, you first of all have a faculty of science. Now, once you have a faculty of science, you have not inside it, you have different programs or departments. You have computer science, you have information technology, you have a whole lot. Now, inside computer science, you now have a lot of courses that goes under it. Mass 101, whatever it is that you do. I'm not a computer science student though, but this is like a practical example that your life is a project on its own. And I had to explain it to someone who told me that they have ADHD, they can focus on their work because it pays them, but they find it very difficult to focus on their own personal projects. And I told him that, you know what? It is because you don't see your life as the most important project in your life. If you constantly see your life as a project that needs to be worked on, just like the project you work on in your team. So for you to be able to build your life properly, you have to see it as a school project. And that leads me towards breaking your goals into categories, because you cannot just enter into computer science department and don't even understand how many courses you have. You have to know every single detail of it. So you have to carry that goal and break it down into categories, just like breaking your courses, knowing your courses. So for instance, Ikechukwu had the goal of transitioning to product design and earn more and become dependent. That's a career goal. He had a goal of acing his papers or acing his project. That's an academic goal. He had a goal of getting fit and building muscle, even though it's after school. That's a health goal. He had what? A goal of what? Reading at least 10 books or reading more books. That it was a fun goal for Chukwemeka because he said that it is fun for him. So for me, reading books could fall into the category of like career because I read books majority of the time because I want to grow. I want to improve in my knowledge. So it's fun for me, but it is more of a career upgrade for me. So other categories could include faith, you want to get closer to God. It could include family and relationship, if you want to love your family more and be more present. It could include ministry, you want to donate to the poor, you want to build a non-profit organization. But every one of your goals should fall into a category so that you know what you're dealing with. Because you have to what include every aspect of your life. The problem starts when people do not include an aspect of their life, and somehow someday they want to now magically bring it into it. It's very important that you know what is going on in every aspect of your life, how you're progressing, and how you can make more progress if you intend to. That is why you should break your goal into categories. Now, once you've broken it into categories, you know what you're dealing with. Then you now have to further do what? Do the next thing, which is what? Create a deliverables. This is where the magic happens. You don't just have the outcome. You don't just want to know only the outcome. You also want to know how you will get there, which is the part, which is the system. Now we're trying to build a system. This is the scratch of the system that we're trying to build. So we know that we want to transition. We know Chukwemeka wants to transition to product design. But for him to transition to product design and become at least skilled to some point, he has to take a complete course. He has to intern and get real world experience. He has to build a portfolio. He has to build a CV. And with the portfolio and CV that he has built, he can now share to people. This is what I do. This is what I can do for you. Can you give me an opportunity? May I volunteer? May I practice? May I be an apprentice? That is what creating a framework looks like. So now we have an idea of the goal, what we need to do. But furthermore, we want to now create a system. This is now where you can now carry those goals, impute it in your life in such a way that it's just a normal day for you. It's just a Monday morning. I know what I need to do in order to what? To get to the end of the result, in order to get the outcome. So even if it's going to take me 7 months, even if it's going to take me 10 months, I know what I need to do in order to do what? To get to the end of it. Now, let us move on to the next thing, which is how to now create a system that works for you. Because when you set a big goal, a 1-year goal, you have to know, how do I break it down? Because if you don't break it down, it will overwhelm you and you will shy away from it. But we don't want that. So we need to learn how to bring a very big goal and chunk it down into the simplest actions that you can take daily. This comes very handy because instead of just telling you how to do it, I've actually made it more simpler that you can easily go from taking what? A prompt. I created this prompt. You can take this prompt, put it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will personalize it for you. Let's see what this prompt looks like. It is you explaining a lot of things for you to get help, right? You want to break it down. But oh my God, I don't know where to start. ChatGPT can help you. AI can help you. That is why we love AI as a helper. All right. So if you look at this, you can see that this consists of 5 steps. It is you structuring it. First of all, you have to describe your current activity. Tell AI what your current activity is. For Chukwemeka, he's a 400 level student in KT University. He's facing his project in uni. He's trying to transition to product from social media designer to product design. Now you can furthermore tell it your current routine. Chukwemeka currently takes 7 courses in school. He spends an average of 3 hours in school daily and about 3 hours studying and doing projects. He spends an hour making dishes, although he does more takeout most of the time. Now, you can be more specific. You can tell ChatGPT, this is the time I wake up, this is the time I go to sleep, this is how much hours I sleep, so that it can personalize it for you. But moving on, you now have to tell it further your goals. So Chukwemeka's priority said, my major goal this year is to transition to product design and earn more money. Then my other goals include completing my project work, having at least a 4.5 GP. I want to read more books around design and self-development and get fit by going to the gym. So you have to be very specific. If you can be detailed, make sure you're detailed. Although I'm going to drop the prompt in the description, or make sure you're also detailed with your own description. Now you have to list your struggles so that ChatGPT can know where to start helping you, right? So it Ikechuk's current struggle is that he has a problem of managing all these activities, and it always leaves me overwhelmed. So if you have procrastination issue, if you have inconsistency issue, if you have lack of accountability issue, whatever issue you have, describe it. Make sure you put in the details. Now, lastly, you now tell ChatGPT, please, can you create a day-to-day routine for me that is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and it has a deadline. Make it a checklist and assign a time to each activity. Now, what we're doing here is that we're trying to tell ChatGPT our current life, current routine, goal, our struggles, and how it can help us break it down and spread it out into a 1 year goal so that we can now do what? Take it one day at a time. So I told ChatGPT to break this down into a day to day, but you can do yours. Ask it to first of all break it down into 4 quarters, right? Once it's breaking it down into 4 quarters, it can break it down into for you monthly. Tell it to break it down for you weekly, and then tell it to break it down for you daily. Once you've done that, you will have a more systematic way on how to reach your goals. Now we did this for Ikechukwu, and this was what it generated for Ikechukwu. Study course for 1 hour, do your final project by 5:30 to 6:30. You hit the gym by. This is what it created, but you can ask it to create it for you quarterly. You can ask it to create it for you monthly, weekly, and then what? Daily. So once you have this is what a helper. You can now carry this thing and customize it into your own life. You know the time you wake up. You know the time you go for lectures. You know the time that you cook. You know the time that you bathe. That is when you now customize it. And that is where a book comes in handy. So if you look at my own paper, you can see that like this is part of my life every single day. I have a time that I wake up. I have a time that I read. I have a time that I sleep. Like, I just hope you can see this. So basically, every single minute or time of the day, I know what I should be doing. When you have a plan, it's harder for you to get distracted. We've created a system that works for each people using this prompt. I'll drop the link in the description. Now, the next is to carry that system and document it somewhere so that it's easier for you to keep tabs on it because you want to stay accountable. If you stay accountable and you keep on checking something, you can also use it to see a pattern. You have so many tools to do that, but for me personally, I use Notion. I've tried a couple of tools, but Notion is that one tool that is free, but it's very, very extensive. You can use it to do so much, and I've been using it for the past 4 years, and I've also given it out to some people, and it has been a lifesaver for them. Trust me, it has saved my life for the past 3 years, and I cannot be more than grateful. So I'm going to show you how I can now carry Ikechu's life system and put it into a tool that he can now use to stay accountable, whether he's on his PC or he's on his phone. So now we're going to go into Notion. If you're used to Notion, you know how to go about this. All right, now let's go to Chukwemeka's planner. So a space for Chukwemeka to do everything possible. Anything is possible in Notion, trust me. So this part, ignore it. This is just how I tell people, whoever use this template, how to use it. Now we go on to this section. You can see his highlights, his goal highlights. So we just highlighted his goals. Why? Because it's important that whenever he comes in here, he should be able to see at a glance what he wants to achieve. For me, I have my highlight here, and I also put it on top of my wall. But I don't just put my highlight for the 12th month. I can put my highlight for the month of January, and I put it. So once I'm done with that, I can take it down. I can put the highlight for February. I can put the highlight for March. I can put the highlight for December. So that is how important. I need to wake up and see it and remind myself that by 10th January, I should be done with this. By 20th March, I should have achieved this. And it what keeps me accountable. So now we can see the highlights of the goals. But we did what? Remember, we don't just highlight goals here, we categorize it. So you go into the detailed look of your goals. So you need to make sure that everything has a category, so that you make sure that you're capturing every aspect of your life and that you know what is going on in that particular department, right? So we have the career goals. He wants to transition to product design. His financial goals, he wants to start making 200K per month. There could be other list of goals, but because of time, we are going to move on to the next thing, which is carrying those goals. Right, we have the goals now, we have the categories, but we want to break it down into what? Into quarterly goals. We want to break it down into what? Into monthly goals. We want to break it down into weekly goals and into daily goals. So this is where the magic lies. When you come on this Notion dashboard, you're going to see that there is what? A section for you to be able to do what? Do a quarterly tracking, quarterly setting of goals. Then once you go into the first month of the quarter, which is like January. Now you're breaking it down into the first month of the quarter. So once you go into January, you can see that immediately you get down here, you can see your January checklist. So Ikechukwu wants to transition to product design, but instead of I want to transition to product design, he can now say probably what ChatGPT had helped him and what is feasible with the smart system framework. He can now say complete the new course on product design by January. Complete the new course. So his course he must have purchased might have 4 modules, and he can say, you know what, I have to complete this in month one in January. So instead of saying read a book, he can say read half of Think and Grow Rich. In the month of January, I should have completed half of it, considering his schedule of his students and so on trying to transition. Then number three, he can say instead of just saying workout, I can say work out 3 times per week. So for him, he's a student, so he might know that every Monday is kind of chaotic. He has long lectures. He can now push the workout to maybe Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, because Saturday is now weekend. Fridays maybe not as stressful. He has to now do what? Plan effectively, right? By making it what? Specific, making it what? Measurable, making it what? Achievable, realistic, and time bound. Now, the last one is complete course material on Maths 101. So instead of saying, I want to have a 4.5 GP, I want to be the best performer in school, you can say complete course material on Maths 101. And that's progress. If you complete it, maybe next month you can say, complete this one, do this one, do this one, do this one, do this one. And that is the roadmap on how to achieve the outcome of his entire goals. Now, we're not just going to stop at the monthly goals, but what are you going to be doing daily, like every day, to achieve that goal? But before you have the daily goal, you have to do it weekly. Very important. So when you come on this dashboard, on this monthly tracker, you can see that it has the 4 weeks of the month. You have the week 1, the week 2, the week 3, the week 4. So if you go into the week 1, for instance, you can now see that those monthly goals were further broken down into a weekly goal. So instead of now saying, I want to complete product design course in January, you can break it down to say, complete module 1. Complete module 1. So module 1 might have like 7 to 8 sessions inside it. So he wants to make sure he completes module 1 by week 1. Then week 2, he can probably complete module 2. Week 3, he can complete module 3. And week 4, he will complete module 4. And that makes it what? 1 month. And his January checklist is what? Good. So for every week, he has the goal. And then for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can see he can break it down: Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you look at his Monday now, he can now say, okay, this is what my Monday looks like. I have a lecture by 7 a.m. I should wake up by this time so that I can brush my teeth, so that I can study Maths 101, so that I can take my breakfast or make breakfast, so that I can go for lecture, so that I can come back early, have lunch, and have enough time to do what? To rest and also take the product design course. So you see how we literally took a very random goal that is just sitting on its own to breaking it down into a monthly, weekly, daily goal. That is how the magic happens. It is the daily progress. Some people will put it as making 1% progress per day. This is where the magic lives. And if you do this, make it realistic, make it achievable, make it time bound, set a time to it so that you know what you're dealing with, so that you have urgency. When you have urgency, you act faster, just like people that have e-commerce sites do to you. All right, so knowing how to do this, we can now go more things that are inside of this template. So instead of Ikechukwo's planner for 2026, there is so many other parts of it. He has what? A vision board. So a vision board is basically where he can now put that into visual. There is something, just like the way you react to the time that is put in an e-commerce site, there is also something that changes the way you think when you visualize it, right? So if you look at this, you can see that it is highly visual because you have to write the vision, make it plain, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. So even though it doesn't look like it, you know what you want. Even if it's going to take you 1 month, even if it's going to take you 10 months, even if it's going to take you 1 year, you know the body you want. You know the type of life you want. You know the type of vacation you want. You can come here and break it down. So you see how important that category breaking down looks like. So this is the Christian life for someone who wants a Christian goal or a faith goal. This is the career slash growth. This is the health and fitness. This is the social life slash fun. So for social life, he wants to spend more time intentionally in nature. He wants to, nurture good friendship. His goal for fitness could be work out 3 times per week. So this is what it looks like, right? So this is what motivates Ikechukwu. He loves to be a tech bro, sitting in a balcony or sitting in somewhere very sophisticated, having his MacBook Pro, working on something very exciting. So for his fitness goal, he might just, if he wants to do something about this, he can just customize it by going to what? Going to what? Pinterest. Pinterest is your best friend to actually get the type of visuals that you want. It is my best friend. So he can research an image of a fit African guy with muscles because he wants the muscles. Then once he searches for this, he's going to find out the one that does what? That resonates with him. He's going to find one that resonates with him. Maybe he finds this one and he likes it. He's like, man, I really want to look like this. And then he copies it. He goes back to his Notion planner, right? He selects this one, he deletes it, and then he clicks, does Control V, which is paste. Voila, and his picture is here. He can now come and say, you know what, for this I am going to I think the network is bad. For this, I'm going to eat more produce and vegetables. I'm going to work out 3x per week. And maybe at least every week he comes on here, he reminds himself of what he really wants. And he rewires his mind to keep on going, right? This is such a game changer. He changed it for me. He's changing it for a lot of people in my community as well. So this is it for a vision board. Then there is also another beautiful part of it. This is where a lot of things that goes into your life happens. So it says an hour of planning can save you 10 hours of doing. Like, I literally like some of these quotes because it is so true, and it tells me the reason why I need to keep planning. Because if I don't plan, I plan to fail. And if I don't plan, I will see that something that I'm meant to do in 3 hours will take me an entire 3 days. Very true. The example that I gave with my product design career. Now, under this life planner and tracker, he can track his career and business. He can probably, keep track of the job that he's applying for. Example, maybe he applied to Google, and then he can see the type of application he works. He can know, oh, they have not reached back to him, or probably Google ghosted him. He can put on ghosted so that he can move on. He can put a quick link that whenever he gets here, he can probably message Google or message the CEO of Google, or update them, or get feedback, and he can put on the date. So even if he hasn't reached out to someone for an opportunity, but he wants to, he can just quickly put the name. Example, Open AI, or example, Microsoft. I don't know if Microsoft. Then the type of opportunity it was. Maybe he sent a proposal, or maybe they reached out. He can, or maybe he's applying. Maybe it's a proposal. He sent an email. You can just say maybe cold email, and then you just create it. It enters here. You can say not started. I mean, I want to, but it's not started. And let me say the person he wants to reach out is to the CEO. He can have the name of the CEO, blah, 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 or the direct link to his profile, or the link to his email, so that if he now wants to reach out, he can just come here, click on that email, reach back. And he can also know if this person ghosted me, if they, if I've not even reached out, or if it's in progress, maybe this I'll get back to you. You can put on the date to know the time that, this happened. And with this, you can be able to keep tabs of your life, like of everything. The same goes with your subscriptions. You want to know where your money goes into. If you plan on building network, you want to make sure that, oh, I see someone, I don't have the time to actually compose a message and send to them now. All right, no problem. Let me just do what? Let me just put in their name, put in their profile. When I come back, I can just reach back to them. You put in their name, you put in if you've done what you need to do, you put in the platform that you want to reach out to them, you put in the profile link to the platform, and then very easy peasy. Now, there's another part called the education. This has to do with your reading list, your learning tracker, maybe where you track the course that you read. For your reading list, you can have like a place where you track the list of books you want to read. So for Ikechukwu, he probably wants to explore design and software development. So he can have design, and he can have maybe just put like software development. Development. Now, once you've done that, Ikechukwu can keep tabs of the book that he reads from here. If he opens it right now, he can be able to see every note that he had taken down. So everything that he had written, everything that he had learned, and he can constantly come back to this. I don't think if there's so many tools that can do this for you for free. I mean, Notion is what a life changer. I recommend. Right, so you can create the books that you want to read for that particular year where you want to focus. You have to be specific what you want to read. So once you've known that, there is so many other parts of this. You can plan your travel with this Notion template. You can do so much, right? You can do so much. You can track your wish list. You can also have like an achievement tracker where you track your achievements. You want to keep them accountable. You can have your monthly income tracker, how much you earn, from where did you earn it, what category, was it a digital product, was it your full-time role, was it your savings interest, was it a gift for January, for all the entire rest of the year. This is such a no-brainer. This is what I use, and I recommend you use this. If you have something that exists for you already, you're good to go. If you don't, make sure you do, because if you don't plan, if you don't have where you plan, you have planned to fail, and it is not going to end well. You don't want to operate the same way that you've operated the last year. That basically brings me to the end of what everything you need to do and how you can take it into your life and build a system that is automatic, that makes progress what's inevitable. I hope this really helps you. By the way, though, if you have any questions, do also put it down in the description, and I cannot wait to get to you because I want you to progress in 2026 just like I made progress in 2025. I mean, I didn't achieve the entire world or I didn't tick every metrics, but it boils down to productivity, knowing what you want, knowing the outcome, and setting a system that helps you to make sure that you achieve that outcome. And with that, I want to add a final note. You should make it into your calendar. If it's not important, scrape it. For instance, I had a goal of designing a life that attracts good opportunities and so many other things, building products. And I also had this fun goal of what? Learning a new language. But at some point, it was great, but it was now eating so much into other parts of the things. And I realized that it was just a fun thing for me. I really did not even need it. So I had to scrape it for that particular season in order to achieve an outcome, because I didn't want to not be sluggish. I didn't want to stall in my progress. So thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, I am very happy for you, and I cannot wait to see you make progress. Also, if you like to get this template, the link is down in the description, and have full access to customize it, and also have access to a community where you can join, ask questions, and I can help you basically set it up, and you make so much progress for just a little token. Trust me, it will do so much for you for the rest of the year than what you're going to get it for. And I'm so excited to make progress with you. Do well to share this with your friends to help them plan and have a more productive year. See you in my next video. Bye.